Hello, Kathy Brennan here. Would you like to look better, feel better, and do better? Yeah, me too. Let's get at it. This week I'm talking about making a habit of being on time. Does anyone really know what time it is? It makes me think of the Chicago song. Well, we do. Our computers and computers and smartphones all tell us exactly what time it is. But as it turns out, 15 to 20% of people are consistently late. Why is that? Well, it could be a lack of self-control, or it could be that you are trying to control others. It shows that you're incompetent, you're not able to manage your time. It can feel rude to the person who's meeting you. It will make you feel flustered because if you get there late and aren't prepared. It could cause you to lose a client or a job or a relationship. What does being on time mean to you? Well, it depends on the situation, right? If you're invited to an open house and it goes from 4 to 6, you're not late if you show up at 4:30 because you can come and go as you want. The question I always get to is, are you making other people wait for you? And if you're making other people wait for you because you've both agreed on a time, then you're late. Now, being late for a flight can be really costly. Being late for your wedding can be a real bad signal for the marriage to come. So being on time has to do both with your expectations of the event and the expectations of the other person. It's good to talk about that. So why are we late? Well, sometimes we're just afraid of missing out on the cool thing that's going on right here, right now. And so we delay leaving to go to our next appointment. Sometimes we're just trying to get one more thing done because we are just too darn busy. Well, why is being on time a good habit? I alluded to it a little bit ago. It reduces your stress. When we're running late, it causes anxiety and stress. It's a good habit because it shows other people when you show up on time that you respect their time. And that's a very important resource we all have. If you make a habit of being on time, it shows that you're dependable and you can be counted on. It can improve other people's perceptions of you. And basically, it shows you care when you show up on time. And for yourself, it shows you that you are a woman or man of your word. Instead of saying, oh, I'm always late, you're saying to yourself, I'm on time. I can manage my time. I respect people. I show up on time. So create this habit. Do it by making a priority. You have to decide, all right, I am going to prioritize being on time. And boy, did I ever make that a priority this week while I'm making the video. And I really pushed myself because I didn't want to make myself a hypocrite by saying, make a habit of being on time and then not being on time. It helps to give yourself a cushion. So if it takes 10 minutes to drive somewhere, give yourself 15 or 20 minutes because you're going to have to drive there. You might get caught in traffic. You have to park. You have to walk into the building or into a person's house. So give yourself some cushion. Don't cut it down to the last second. If you're concerned about waiting, which is, I think, sometimes people's thing, I can get more done here than wait. Bring something along to do while you wait, whether it be, maybe you can scroll through your emails or maybe you can respond to a text. You can use that time while you're waiting because you're there a little early, for example. So just have something to do. That's easy right now in our culture. Always leave on time. Like I said, give yourself a cushion even. Make sure that nobody's going to make you do that except yourself. So it's real important. And this is another thing that's worked really well. If I'm in a meeting, I had someone do this to me, and she said, okay, I have an hour. So she already set the expectation of what the time would be. And she wasn't flustering around at an hour and 15 minutes. She said, this is the amount of time. And I love that because she said, this is how much of the resource I'm going to give you and we're going to have together. And so we had an expectation about that. I was at book club the other night and someone looked down at her watch. We typically meet for a certain amount of time. And at that time, just a few minutes before that, she said, okay, I've got to watch the clock because I have to go to dinner later. So she told us too. She was watching the clock, so she's being on time for her next appointment. Just be honest with yourself about how many commitments you have and do not stack things back to back to back unless you know that you can make it without stressing yourself out or making other people wait. And finally, just don't put too many things on your to-do list. This really helps. That's if I don't have 10 things to do in 8 hours, then I will be able to, it just doesn't match up. I'll put 4 things on my to-do list, 4 people I can meet in 8 hours. So I make sure I can meet with each one of them, get between meetings, and I am not late. So make a habit of being on time. It's a really good habit. It will help you have a better self-image. It will help others be able to trust you, which will foster greater relationships. Make a habit of being on time. Be well.